Hello, and welcome to the IAA Privacy Download. I'm Rob Hartwell, Venable LLP, and we're going to discuss the recent changes to iOS 14 and the potential impact they may have on privacy and advertising in the Apple ecosystem. As you may be aware, Apple created the App Tracking Transparency Framework in iOS 14. The main consumer-facing impact of this framework is the Allow Apps to Request a Track setting. If consumers leave this setting on, each app that wants to access the iOS Identifier for Advertising, or IDFA, to track consumers will need the user to opt into that activity. Apple's definition of tracking is very important here because it specifically notes that data collected through an app and combined with other data for targeted advertising purposes is tracking and needs users' opt-in approval. Along with this new opt-in setting, app developers are now responsible to disclose how their app uses data, including how third-party SDKs store data. Those disclosures are made public in the App Store. Because the app developer is responsible for making accurate representations in these disclosures, if you make SDKs or other technologies that collect data from mobile applications available to app developers in the iOS ecosystem, you may receive more incoming questions from developer partners to assist them in completing these disclosures and making sure their representations are accurate. It also appears that this new setting is taking the place of the limited ad tracking setting that previously allowed consumers to opt out of targeted advertising in the iOS ecosystem. Notably, Apple's advertising activity that it performed itself is subject to an opt-out following the iOS 14 update, rather than the opt-in of the App Tracking Transparency Framework. As advertisers, these changes could impact your activity in a few ways. First, if your organization offers ad-supported apps to consumers as a way to engage with them, there may be lower ad revenues generated from those apps. This could also cause the app developers that provide ad space in their apps to move towards a subscription model. That shift in the ecosystem could result in lower ad inventory for you to reach consumers and provide messages to them. Additionally, as advertisers engage in the mobile ecosystem, if consumers choose not to opt in to tracking, the ability to accurately target ads to the right audiences in the iOS ecosystem could be limited. Instead of being able to analyze how app users interact with ads and apps across devices, the mobile space could see a rise in contextual advertising or aggregate targeting of campaigns. These changes could make it harder to reach potential consumers on their devices. A low opt-in rate could also make it harder to effectively measure ad campaigns due to more limited data sets than can be used for reporting measuring purposes currently. Apple plans to provide its own aggregated ad measurement framework for those that choose to leverage it, but your current campaign measurement tools could see a drop in the availability of user-level data to help you understand what audiences are seeing your advertisements and how they are reacting to them. So with all these changes and potential impacts on the horizon, what should you and your organizations do today? First, and this may not surprise you, I'm going to say talk to your legal counsel and tech teams to assess how Apple's policies will apply to your activity. For example, do you offer SDKs and collect data from mobile apps in the iOS ecosystem? You should determine if you engage in Apple's definition of tracking, prepare materials to provide to your app developer partners to help them meet their own requirements. And at the same time, if you provide apps, you can take this opportunity to inventory how you collect data and how you use it and whether you engage in tracking that would require compliance updates. This exercise can also help you assess how the changes may impact your advertising partners, either clients or ad tech partners. If you engage in a high volume of advertising in the iOS ecosystem, it may be useful to determine if your campaigns will continue to be as effective or as targeted as you want as consumers opt in through the App Transparency Framework. Importantly, given the fast-moving and ever-changing nature of privacy in the mobile ecosystem, it's important to be active in industry groups that address the space. For example, on February 9th, the House Energy and Commerce Chair Frank Pallone from New Jersey and the Consumer Protection Subcommittee Chair Jan Schakowsky from Illinois sent a letter to Apple to allege that many of the privacy labels we discussed earlier are misleading or inaccurate. The letter asked Apple for more information about how apps are audited and approved, and for Apple to make improvements to those labels. Being active in groups like the IAA and its Privacy Download Professional Hub with mediaspace is a great way to learn about these types of developments. Additionally, a large group of companies and trade associations representing all sides of the advertising industry created the Partnership for Responsible Addressable Media, or PRAM, to work towards the development of alternative identity solutions for addressable media, like advertising, to continue to be effective, measurable, and valuable as society continues to shift to a digital future. I hope you found this discussion insightful, and thank you for watching.